Welcome to Lana the Educator's podcast. Today I have a very special guest with me who knows firsthand how being literate transforms one's ability to tackle life challenges. Once struggling with reading and writing, she's an adult who has overcome illiteracy later in life. She made the courageous decision to change her future by enrolling in a literacy program. The road wasn't easy, but through determination, support, and an unshakable belief in herself, she turned the page, literally and figuratively, on a new chapter in her life. Join me in welcoming Jamell Felix, who is going to tell you all about herself and her journey, and then we're going to have a nice little um, chat about her experiences. So welcome, Jamell, to my channel, Lana the Educator.
Hi, Miss Lana.
And she'll tell you why she's calling me Miss Lana as well. But Jamell, can you tell us a bit about yourself, and your history and how we know each other?
Well, my name is Jamell Felix. I'm 40. How I get to know Miss Lana? Um, I was in Alta, and she was a tutor in Alta, and I had the pleasure of meeting her in the Alta program. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a bit about what you're doing now.
Well, I'm still in the Alta somewhat
Mm-hmm.
because I doesn't do it on the regular.
Mm-hmm.
But my job right now, where I'm working, I'm with Deus Contractors, which is CPEP.
Mm-hmm.
They have an ALTA program. The government say that we have to do an ALTA program to help the adults, to help them learn to read and write properly. And I'm still in the ALTA program through that every Tuesday. Yeah.
Yes. So what does that entail? How does Alta link with the DEOS program? What is it that you do there?
Well, we have like an online ALTA session.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one-on-one like it is normally be. We log in to the altar and we do our own thing but at our own pace. So we log in. It have different stages. We read, um we do little English. It's like the same things, but that's at our own pace.
Okay. What is your skill? What is your skill, your profession?
Well, actually, I have a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
But mainly I did tiling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did do a little bit of hairdressing.
Right.
You know, these are things that I like. So yeah,
And you operate your own business, you said?
yeah. Well, me and my husband start a little small business where
Mm-hmm.
people will call us and you know we will go and we will do tiling and stuff like that. I actually help him to start off in Thailand. I taught him some things and then he went and he did a course and we start off from there.
Wow. So what's your business called?
Camario's contractors.
And how do people contact you?
Well, this on my phone
Mm-hmm.
normally because he just be like real busy. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really much, busy like him. So they just call my phone.
Right.
Yeah.
And how has business been going so far?
Well, it is more boom up like around Christmas time.
Right.
The businesses boom because everybody wants something done.
Right.
So they will call us and they will get a tile done. We also do different things as well, like roofing and sealing off. That is, we add on those things to it
Mm-hmm.
because he is skilled in it. So wherever they want to do, we do it, but mostly tiling.
Ah, so what number would we call if you want to get onto your business?
Okay, well, my number is 278
Mm-hmm.
7831.
All right. So I'm going to talk to Jamel today a little bit about obviously her history and her journey, which I found very interesting. Her literacy journey. So, When did you first realize that reading and writing was a challenge for you?
Well, actually, from first, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
What was
Um,
happening there?
well, attending. Well, I start attend first year from the age of 7,
Mm-hmm.
older than the other children. And when it is expected for me to like know how to read at that age,
Mm-hmm.
the teachers used to be like, "You is 7 and you don't know how to read as yet." And
Mm-hmm.
these little children, they were 5, and and they knew how to read. And it was really challenging for me from that point.
Mm-hmm. Why did you
Yeah.
enter so late? Later than
But
usual.
actually, mommy was really poor, and
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of challenging for money to buy stuff to go to school and stuff like that. So she started my big sister first, and then you know the struggle was there.
Mm-hmm.
So it took some time for me to start school.
Right. And how did you feel when the teachers were responding to you, like that from a young age? You're so big and you don't know how to do this yet. How did that make you feel?
It was really hard. At first, I didn't understand properly.
Mm-hmm.
It used to hurt me, but not as much
Mm-hmm.
because most of the time I was study to play.
Right.
So it never bothered me, but is when I start to go to the higher standard, like
Mm-hmm.
standard 1, 2, 3, that is when it hits.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then what happened there when you actually
Huh.
came to that realization?
It was hard because normally the teachers will say, okay, it's time for reading. They will pick students to go up in front of the class and read.
Mm-hmm.
And when they pick me, I used to be shaking. I will go up there and I
Mm-hmm.
will look at the book and I wouldn't even know what is the or this or that. I wouldn't even know these words.
Wow.
And the children will make fun of me. What to you? What happened? Your tongue cut off,
Mm-hmm.
and they will make a lot of fun of me. And I would just start to cry. And the teacher would say, go and sit up. In a rough way, go and sit
Mm-hmm.
up. It
Mm-hmm.
was really, really difficult. When I go up to read, it was real difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. And did that occur to all throughout your school life? Did you finish primary school, go into secondary school?
Well, actually, I did finish primary school.
Mm-hmm.
But the school I attended, Point Forward in Egypt Village Government School,
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't think that is focused on the children who cannot read and write. They
Hmm.
never used to focus on us.
Right.
They will kind of like put us in the back of the class,
Mm-hmm.
and if we know something, we know. If we don't know, we don't know.
Yeah.
And when I was in standard 3, they skipped me from standard 3 to standard 4 because of my age.
Right.
No, not standard 4, sorry. They skipped me from standard 3 to standard 5.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was difficult for me because that was a common entrance class.
Mm-hmm.
That is what they used to call it, common entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard because I don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it was
And
really,
then
really hard.
were you successful in common entrance? Did you go across the secondary school?
Actually, no. I sat common entrance twice.
Right.
The first time I sat, fail. They sent me to post primary
Mm-hmm.
and they allowed me to sit the second time. That was it was really hard for me that particular time because come on, I sit the first time I failed. I tried my best to pass. Well, the best that I could have done to pass the second time, but I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And the day of the result, that was a really hard day for me because when everybody getting the result and the principal calling them in the office and giving them it. And when I
Mm-hmm.
went into the office and I came back out, I was in tears. And there was an officer, I will never forget that officer name.
Mm-hmm.
He came to talk to the students. His name is Constable Chabadi.
Ah,
And that officer saw me crying and he pulled me aside. He said, what happened?
right.
I said, well, I failed my exam for the second time.
Right.
He said, don't cry. He said, what is the problem? I said, well, I can't really read and spell properly, and I didn't understand what was going on. So he told me, say, let me tell you something. I don't want to see you crying.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to lift your head. If you have nobody to help you at home, I want you to try read a little newspaper. Well, try to read a little newspaper. If you see a sign, try to pronounce the words, and he tell me what I could do. And I tried that for some years. And it helped me a little, not much, but it helped me a little. So at least I could tell that this sign is Egypt Village, this sign is Point Fortin, San Fernando. I could have done that at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Were there times when you felt embarrassed or, frustrated because of your struggles? Tell us about that.
Well, that was a challenge because when I failed the second comprehensions, mommy said that you had to at least try to see if you get work.
Right.
And I said, okay. I went and I got a job in Tanghap supermarket in Point Fortin,
Mm-hmm.
and it was going good. But sometimes when I had to read something, it was a little difficult, but you didn't have to read much,
Right.
right? And I was a packer, so it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't that hard. But when they give me the slip, like the pay slip,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what was going on that pay slip.
Hmm.
I just used to just see my figures,
Mm-hmm.
my name, because I knew
Mm-hmm.
how to spell my name. I know I seen my name. At the
Right.
time, my name was Kimberly Jamell Felix,
Mm-hmm.
Graves.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that is my name. But
Right.
everything else, I didn't know what was going on. So
Mm-hmm.
it started off, my work life started off really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
It was real embarrassing for me because if somebody come and say, hey, we you seeing that read this to me, like an old person in the grocery
Right.
will come and say, come and read this to me. I'll be
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm not seeing it too good. But
Um,
it was really, really hard because come on, as a young adult, you're supposed to be able to help somebody read something, and it was embarrassing.
So what about how did that struggle, aside from your work life, how did it affect your family and your, interactions with friends? Were they aware of your struggles?
Well, mommy was aware of it,
Mm-hmm.
but I had 8 siblings. Right, it was 9 of us in all, and how it was, how it was really poor. Mommy had no time to like sit down and help us. Because she always on the go trying to see if she can try to make a better life for us,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she could not really read and write properly as well. So
Mm-hmm.
if even she sat down with us, she could not help us because she cannot read and write. But my other siblings, they were kind of like self-taught. It have some children where you don't have to teach them anything
Right.
and they will just know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
My other siblings was like that. So they didn't really have any struggle. But even my siblings used to make a little fun of me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like if we're talking and they're talking about maths
Mm-hmm.
or reading or some kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
they'll be like, Kimberly, you stay out of it because you don't know how to read. And that used to break me more down than how I was already feeling. It was really hard. And I used to like just be in a corner and listen to the conversation and just hush my mouth because I can't read or spell.
Mm-hmm.
It was real difficult. But when I start having kids,
Right.
I tell myself, I say, hey, I want to learn how to read and write.
Mm-hmm.
I have an auntie that's mommy's sister.
Mm-hmm.
She was going the altar program.
Right.
And I sit down and I spoke to her. I said, Auntie Susie, I said, that program you're going, I hear grandma talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
It does help you. She said, yes, it's really nice. You want to join?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, maybe. And then I said, let me join. But my daughter was small.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time I will go to the library in Point Fortin and I will attend the classes. but I didn't really have anybody to watch my daughter for me. So I'll miss out a lot of class. And it used to frustrate me because the next week I go, I had to catch up, so I wouldn't really know what going on. And it frustrated me, so I stopped the class. But when when my daughter reached about 5, I noticed something good in her. She was like taking up little books and what she tried to do. I said, I said, this child wants to read. So I said, okay, I sat down. Although I didn't know how to read, I tried my best and I helped her to spell her name. At least to spell her name. Tiffany, Tiffany, Graves, Greaves. I did that because that is what I could have done. Teach her to spell her name. And at the age of 5, teachers was amazed. This child, she's spelling her name properly. She didn't have to pause or anything. She's spelling it out brave. And that gave me the confidence. That is when the confidence had to grow more. When I realized I helped her.
So when you first started taking the class as an adult, what was your feelings then? Were you afraid, intimidated when you started to learn as an adult?
Okay, well, when my daughter was 16, she come to me. She said, Mommy, and there was in the altar class already years ago. I said, yeah. She said, I was seeing it on TV, advertising. She said, Mommy, I want you to join the altar class. I said, you really think so? She said, I have confidence in you, Mommy, because I just be seeing you trying to read. She said, I want you to take the altar class. And I felt kind of like, how to put it? I felt embarrassed to know that my daughter, telling me joining the altar class. But then I felt proud in a way because she's seeing it on TV and she know that her mommy cannot read and write properly. And I say, okay, no problem. And that is when I joined the altar class for the second time. It was embarrassing because when I entered the class, it was physical then. When I entered the class, I was feeling a little intimidated because everybody there, and if you had to say something or read something, I wasn't be able to do it as well, so I was embarrassed. But one of the teachers told me, everybody here for the same reason. Don't be embarrassed, and that helped build the confidence a little more. Yeah.
And I like that you kept up with it in the transition to online. The one thing that stood out with me is you sound very resilient and very, determined to learn, which is why I wanted to invite you onto the podcast because, just your attitude towards learning and your attitude towards life is very admirable because a lot of people would have been ashamed, to continue as you have done. So that's very commendable on your part.
Thank you.
So what has been the most challenging part of learning to read and write as an adult?
Well, trying to do like fill out a form or stuff like that, to go and apply for a job. I used to always let my husband do the form for me. But then the altar program actually teaches to do a form,
Right.
so that helped me a lot. Also, well, I used to work in the oil and gas industry, and it have certain courses that you have to take. And I was embarrassed to take the courses because I know I can read properly. But it also have recordings where they're reading for you. And that helped me a lot. It helped me.
Good.
But I've grown because the altar program helped me so much. I could take up my Bible and I could read word for word. And that was something I really wanted to do, read my Bible, and not only read it, understand. It's not 100% understandable for me because the Bible are parables,
Right.
right? But to read it was really, really good. And also, as an adult, reading a book. I didn't never finish any books at all. And I hear people talking about how it's so adventurous to read a book. And I found a book and I read that book from cover to cover. And
Bravo.
it was so good, you know? So I feel it it had me feeling so so good to know how to read now. I may not be able to spell 100% as yet, but at least on the path.
What book is that was so good that you read cover to cover? Do you remember?
it, I was Treasure Island.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a one that we know. I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah. So what strategies or techniques have helped you, navigate your challenges with literacy? How did you manage and how do you manage to overcome, any problems that you would encounter? I know you talked about getting the pay slip and not understanding what's on the pay slip, you're just seeing the figures. So how did you manage to draw your pay and things like that? Tell me about that.
What right now?
No, before.
Oh, mommy will help me. Yeah,
Okay.
she used to help me.
Uh,
She will tell me, it says so so so, and
mhm,
I'll be like, okay, okay.
mhm.
But and she will help me. She will organize, and it used to be kind of challenging because you want to know something on your own,
Right.
right? But mommy, she used to help me. Yeah.
Was there ever a time when somebody tried to trick you because of, your challenges with literacy, or that you encounter some kind of problems or obstacle with people?
Well, actually, to be honest, I was really good at hiding it,
Mm.
I was really good at hiding it
Mm-hmm.
because most of my friends, they do not know, they have no idea. I could not have read properly because if they give me something to read, I'll be like, I don't like this. What are you giving me this to read for? You know, I I, I develop a kind of trickery way,
Mm-hmm.
about it that I could have fooled people. They could say,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not good to do, but I could have fooled people.
Right.
And if somebody give me something to read, I would
Mm-hmm.
squinch my eyes, be like, oh my gosh, I really need glasses,
Um,
read this seminar. I
mm,
really need glasses. I need to go and check out this thing. I need to get glasses. And that's how I get through years and years with some people not knowing.
mm, mm. So what is
Also,
it? Go ahead.
yeah, also, it have sometimes people find out and it was really embarrassing,
Mm,
right? Because I, I will hear them shushing,
ah,
you know?
mm,
I don't think she can read enough.
mm,
Look how she's shunning me off. I don't think she can read. And that used to make me feel a bit low. Yeah.
mm. So what was a rewarding moment for you in your literacy journey? Something that really made you proud and happy?
Well, the fact that but I have a twin, and one of the twins, she had a lot of challenges in reading. And there was a time when she come home, she used to be sulky, like really, really sulky. I was like, Brittany, what happened? She's like, Mommy, I don't want to go to school now. I don't want to go to school. And I said, but wait, let me try to see if Brittany could read. And she could not read. Although her twin sister, she could not read, but not as good. But Brittany could not read at all. And the teacher will call me and tell me, you need to help Brittany. And I sat down. And here's what I did. I read on video, like recording, and I will read her reading book, like a passage. And I will read it really slow. And I ask her, I say, Brittany, I want you to listen to it, look at the words, and then you will follow, listen to my voice and follow. And also the pronunciation of words. Alta taught me that. The pronunciation of words and breaking it down in syllables and stuff like that. And I help her. And she in standard 4 now, and my baby girl could read.
Oh, bravo.
So it was it was always come in my head because I was like, I did that.
Yeah.
I helped her. So I
Right.
just feel really, really proud that I can read and I can actually help my kids now.
Mhm. Mhm. They're doing, what are some specific things that come to your mind? I know you've just relating your story have really shown how, your ability to now be literate has changed your life, your confidence and so forth. And you just told us how you were able to inspire others to, learn and was inspired yourself by your daughter. What are some things that you can do now that you couldn't do before, now that your literacy level has increased?
Well, actually, I can help I can help people because sometimes in the altar class,
Hmm.
in work,
Yeah.
I bounce up a few people who cannot really read and write properly.
Mhm.
And I will help them because remember, I accustomed with the altar
Right.
and some of them, it's new to them. So I will say, come, let me help you. And I will help. And it does feel so good to help. It does feel so, so, so good. So I am, I just feel good.
Good.
I don't know how to express it enough, but I just feel good.
No, and you really help the class, you really encourage people. You don't make people feel embarrassed or anything like that. So I think you're doing a pretty good job, and hopefully we'll have you as an alta tutor sometime in the future.
That's something nice. But actually, I want to write books.
Oh,
I
bravo.
always yeah, I want to be able to write children books because from an early age, because I could not read,
Hmm.
I will tell stories. I
Hmm.
will sit down with my classmates and I will make up all these stories about adventure and it's something that I always love. So I would
Hmm.
love to write books for kids and plus for teenagers. Yeah, I would love to do that.
Yeah, excellent. And I would like to help you if you need any help in doing that. I think
Thank you.
we have some people who were on the podcast here before who can probably help you with that. We have some authors who would have published, so that's a good
Okay,
start for you.
that is nice.
Yeah. So what advice would you give people like adults, other adults who are struggling with literacy but are afraid to ask for help? What would you say to them?
Huh. I will say to them, take the first step because sometimes it may look like you could be embarrassed and in this class there's so much people, and they will look at you a certain way. I just want people to know everybody there, they're there for a purpose, and that is to learn. Sometimes you will bounce up people who could read but cannot spell, but everybody there has a problem that they want to fix
Mm.
and go for it. Take the shame, put it behind your back. Step, the first step is always be the most important.
Mm.
Take the first step because when you go there and you realize your capability, you it is be like you want to push for the stars.
Mm.
So this first step is always important.
Mm. And with that, I want to thank Jamell Felix for joining us here on the podcast with Lana the Educator. Remember, you empower minds and you ignite curiosity.